After 25 years as an entrepreneur, here's what I know about decision making. Most business owners don't struggle because they make bad decisions. They struggle because they don't want to make decisions at all. They wait, they second guess, they keep gathering just a little more information, and they tell themselves they're being careful when really they're just stuck. It's paralysis by analysis. In this episode, I want to encourage you to think about your decision making and show you how to keep moving forward, even when you don't know for sure you're right. Hi, I'm Matt. I've spent over 25 years building companies as a serial entrepreneur and helping small business owners navigate challenges and avoid costly mistakes. Welcome to the channel, where I answer your questions using real-world practical experience. Let me know how I can help. If you've watched my channel before, you know I like to start every episode by resetting how most people think about the topic. So most owners believe good businesses are built by making the right decisions. And that's not 100% true. Good businesses are built by owners who are willing to decide, even without perfect information, and then respond. In real life, you almost never have certainty. You have incomplete data, competing priorities, and pressure from all directions. So the real problem isn't making the wrong decision. The real problem is avoiding decisions completely because you're chasing certainty that doesn't exist. With that in mind, here's how I think about decisions. And it's shaped how I run businesses and how I coach others to run theirs. At the end of the day, there are only three types of decisions: the right one, the wrong one, and no decision at all. And no decision is almost always the worst option. Let's break them down. The right decision. This one's pretty obvious. You choose the right hire, you price correctly, you invest in the right system or product. Things worked out the way you'd hoped, and that's great. But can we be honest? You almost never know it's the right decision when you make it. You only know later, looking back, once you see the results. And that's why it's so important to take action. Make the decision. You won't know if it's right or wrong until later anyways. Number two is the wrong decision. And this one scares people. The bad product launch, the bad lease, the bad partnership, bad timing. It's all negative, bad, bad, bad. But don't forget though, you won't know for sure until later. It's also important to remember that a wrong decision is not the end of the world. Most wrong decisions are fixable and reversible and survivable. They might hurt and they might cost you money. They'll definitely bruise your ego, but they usually teach you something valuable. But you've got to pay attention. The third one is indecision. So we had the right decision and the wrong decision. Of course, that leaves us with no decision. It's also known as the worst option. This is the one that quietly destroys businesses. No decision is when I'm still thinking about it, or I need more data, or I'll decide after a busy season, or you tell your team, let's look at it next quarter, put a pin in it. Meanwhile, your problems are growing. Opportunities are passing you by. Your stress level is increasing, and nothing actually improves. You're stalled out. No decision feels safe initially, but it's usually the riskiest move of all if you want a successful company. Here's why postponing or skipping the decision is so damaging. The world keeps spinning, whether you decide or not. Your competitors are improving. Your employees are adapting, or they're getting frustrated and leaving, and your customers are forming opinions about your company. Also, let's not forget that indecision has a compounding effect. The longer you avoid a decision, the harder it becomes to make. The more emotional it feels, and the good options may start drying up. What could have been a small, clean decision 6 months ago often turns into a big, messy one later. When you don't decide, you lose control of the outcome. You default to the status quo, and you let circumstances decide for you. In business, indecision is still a decision. You just lose control of the wheel. Let me give you a super common example. I have a business owner who knows that they need to raise prices. They've probably known it for a while. Their costs are up, margins are thinner, they're working more and taking home less. But instead of moving ahead, they wait. They think that they're too busy and they don't want to upset existing customers. They want to see what the next few months look like. Meanwhile, every job they do is harder than it needs to be. They're more stressed. Maybe they start to resent the work completely, and the business quietly trains customers to expect more for less. So instead of being known for quality, they become known for being cheap. The quality of their clients starts going down and their headaches start going up. Maybe nothing explodes. There may be no dramatic failure, but that indecision costs them money, energy, and confidence every single week. And that's how indecision drains a business. I mentioned before that right or wrong decisions won't be obvious until later. So let's make a mindset shift to make every decision right. No matter how good you are, you cannot make every right decision. Anyone who tells you otherwise either hasn't been in business long enough or they just don't know reality. And it's okay. You won't make every right decision. But there's great news. You can make every decision right. Here's what I mean. Once the decision is made, go all in. Commit to it. Execute it cleanly to the best of your ability. Pay attention and then make adjustments if needed. A mediocre decision with strong execution will always beat a potentially perfect one that just never gets made. Good decision makers aren't always right, but they're responsive, they're accountable, and they're willing to admit when it isn't working and then set about to fix it. They don't make a decision and just move on. They don't just hope it works. They keep figuring out ways to make it work. And that's how you move forward. And that's how you see growth in your business. When you're stuck and don't know which way to turn, here's a quick tip I use to get moving again. Ask 3 simple questions. Is this decision reversible? What happens if I wait? And would a quick decision give clarity, direction, or opportunity? Let's start at the top. If this decision is reversible, well, then stop overthinking it and make the call. For the record, most decisions aren't permanent and they're adjustable after the fact. So pick an option and make it work for you, or just pivot the plan later. Either way, you keep moving forward. Now, what happens if we wait another month or quarter or year? You've really got to be honest with yourself here. If the answer is that nothing really changes, okay, fine, I guess, just wait. But if things could get worse, or you'll miss out on important opportunities, well, then pick what looks like the best option today and keep working until you make it right. And then the third one is if making this decision right now gives you clarity and direction and opportunity, then make it and move on. If it doesn't clearly move you forward, then you have more time to decide. Because sometimes the value of a decision isn't that it's perfect, it's that it puts you back in control. If you take only one thing from this video, let it be this. The goal isn't to make perfect decisions. The goal is to keep moving forward and take responsibility for making your decisions work. You'll make some good ones. You'll certainly make some bad ones. But if you keep avoiding decisions, the market, your competitors, and your customers, they're going to decide, not you. And they won't care what's best for you. So go ahead, make the call, learn fast, adjust when needed, and make every decision right. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, give it a like and a subscribe, drop a comment, or send me an email. That's where I look for future topics. Now, take a breath. You've got this. All right, what's next?